So I think that many visitors to Peru decide to pass through Lima really quickly on the way to Cusco. And in this video, I want to make the case that Lima is worth spending at least a few days of your time to really appreciate and enjoy the city. And the city is less about checking off some bucket list items like you do in Cusco or Machu Picchu, and it's more about savoring the vibe in districts like Miraflores or Barranco, going for a long walk along the cliffside boardwalk and taking in the stunning sunsets. It's also about enjoying some delicious ceviche or a pisco sour with great ambiance. And I have some great recommendations coming up in this video, so stay tuned. And if you are a digital nomad, I think Lima is an excellent place for an extended stay. And I spent a month here and I really enjoyed my time. And in this video, I'll share some of my best highlights and insights. And as usual, I left some timestamps in the description below in case you want to skip ahead or come back to revisit certain sections later. And if you found this video to be of value, don't forget to like and subscribe. Lima was founded in 1535 by the Spanish and was originally named Ciudad de los Reyes, or City of Kings. It's located in a desert zone on the central coast of Peru, and when the Spanish arrived, there were roughly 200,000 indigenous people living in the area under the Inca Empire. Lima now has a population of over 11 million as the capital city of Peru, and nearly 1/3 of the nation's population now live in Lima. The city is huge and is divided into 43 different districts, and the districts of Miraflores and Barranco, as well as the historic center, are among the most visited areas, which we'll cover in this video. This is Larcomar Shopping Mall, situated high on the cliffs in the district of Miraflores. In addition to many high-end stores, there are some nice cafes, bars, and restaurants. You may be tempted to stick around this area, but I recommend that you walk north along the boardwalk all the way to Reiche Park. It takes about 45 minutes each way, and the walk is incredible. Let me give you a little glimpse into what you can see along the way. So one of the biggest and most interesting parks that you can stop at during your walk along the Malecón here, high on the cliffs, is called Maria Reiche Park. And Maria Reiche was a German-born translator, mathematician, and archaeologist who spent the better part of her life studying and protecting the Nazca lines in southern Peru in the Nazca Desert. And if you've never heard of the Nazca lines, they are these huge geoglyphs created by pre-Incan civilizations somewhere between 300 BC and 800 AD. And they're these huge lines, geometric shapes, and animals and plants and insects. And to this day, they still don't know why they were created. And there's a range of theories from offerings to the gods, to maps of underground water sources, to calendar and astronomical systems. And what's most interesting about them is that you can only really decipher them from far above because they're so huge. They created these huge shapes, and it wasn't until the 1930s when planes started flying overhead that they were really able to make out all of these shapes and lines. And they're still finding some patterns and shapes to this day, and so the discoveries continue to grow. But this park was dedicated to her and her work to study and protect them. They became a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1994. But what they did is they recreated some of the Nazca shapes here with the flower bed. So you can come by and see some of the shapes that are in the desert. And yeah, it's pretty interesting. And yeah, for those of us who are not going to have a chance to get in a plane or helicopter to fly overhead of the real Nazca lines, it's a great way to get a little glimpse into their history and mystery here in this park. Heading east from Larcomar Shopping Mall along Avenida Jose Larcos brings you right through the center of Miraflores. It's one of the main tourist areas of Lima with several hotels, restaurants, cafes, and bars, as well as art galleries, cinemas, and casinos. This area is considered to be among the safest in Lima, and it's super pedestrian friendly and a fun area to explore on foot. It also has beautiful green spaces, offering a tranquil retreat within the 7th of June Park or Kennedy Park. And within these parks, you may wonder what the little houses are all about. Dozens of cats are housed and fed here by a local volunteer organization called the Feline Protection Volunteer Group. And within Miraflores is the pre-Incan archaeological site of Huaca Pucllana. It was built between 200 and 700 AD, and you can take a guided tour of the clay and adobe pyramid, which was built using a bookcase technique, allowing it to withstand earthquakes over the centuries. It first served as a ceremonial and administrative center for the Lima culture, and then later was used as a burial site by the Wari culture beginning around 700 AD, and then by the Ixma culture beginning around 1000 AD. It's incredible that this site is so well preserved and situated right within the heart of Miraflores, surrounded by modern buildings and bustling activity. The district of Barranco is the artsy, hipster, and bohemian part of Lima, and this was my favorite neighborhood to explore. It has beautiful plazas and architecture, including many old mansions that are now hip cafes, restaurants, and bars. It also has some beautiful green spaces with art installations. And one of my favorite things to do in this neighborhood is to just wander around and take in all the street art that seems to be around every corner. And one of the most famous landmarks in this neighborhood is the Bridge of Sighs, a wooden pedestrian bridge that even has its own legend.
And legend has it is if you're able to cross the bridge holding your breath, you'll be granted your wish. If you cross the bridge with a partner who you love and you both hold your breath, you'll be granted everlasting love.
This is my sister Tasha, and she met me in Peru for a couple weeks, and during her visit I put her to work as my travel vlogger. You'll be seeing more of her in this video and the next one featuring Cusco, the Sacred Valley, and Machu Picchu. And under the Bridge of Sighs is a path that leads down to a sandy beach. It's not like the sandy beaches that you can find in Mexico, but this beach is worth checking out and taking in the coastal cliffs that seem to go on forever.
Day 2 in Lima, and we figured today is the best day to do a Pisco Sour tour. Currently we're exploring the Barranco district, and we're trying to find the best one in this area. We thought it might be smart to give you an idea of what a Pisco Sour is. Traditionally, this cocktail includes pisco, the alcohol, lime, egg whites, simple syrup, and a dash of bitters. It's shaken over ice and then strained into a cocktail glass. But first, what is pisco? Pisco is an alcohol that's derived from fermented grapes. And you might think, oh, it's a wine. Actually, it's a brandy, and it's a brandy that has an alcohol content normally between 38 and 48%. The word pisco is thought to have originated from the Inca language Quechua, meaning bird. Our goal is to find out whether or not these national cocktails can actually make you fly. And we made our way to Juanito's Bodega Bar, and I'm about to try my first classic Pisco Sour. We've made our way to the second location to try our second Pisco Sour, and we are at the Sofa Cafe. We find ourselves at number 3 destination for our Pisco Sours, and it is República del Pisco. One might argue that this has got to be the best place for a Pisco Sour. We'll find out. Pisco Sour number 3 was a complete disappointment. República de Pisco is an absolute piss-off, is what that is. Overpriced and a shitty Pisco Sour. We've landed in our 4th spot, Ancestral Cafe, and this place is spectacular. There are various rooms with different decor and different themes, and quite honestly, I hope this wins the frickin' Pisco Sour competition.
Unfortunately, when we visited the historic center, the main plaza was closed, but we were still able to appreciate the beautiful architecture from the side streets. We also wandered around other parts of the historic center and were able to enter an old church dating back to the 16th century called Iglesia la Merced. I'm not religious, but I love exploring old churches, and this one did not disappoint. We also went on a fun and informative food tour in the historic center and tried all kinds of traditional street foods and local fruits. The star of our food tour was definitely ceviche. This national dish consists of raw fish and other seafood prepared in lime juice and spices and traditionally served with corn and sweet potatoes in Peru. We also found a good ceviche restaurant in Barranco called Muelle. It's only open during the day but serves delicious ceviche at a reasonable price. Highly recommended. To calendar systems and astronomical observances that were created by pre-Incan at the mystery of the Nazca lands.
And then of course there's egg whites, lime, simple syrup, and a dash of bitters. That didn't work out. Didn't work out, Jason. There's too much going on. I was worried I was going to get hit by a fucking between like 38 and 48% alcohol content.